Let's take a look at our 10 quick videos we have as a part of our Fast Start series in sales. This is an overview that I'm very excited about because sales was a huge mystery for me getting started. And to me it was like when people were making sales, it was like a magic trick. You'd see them doing it, watch the presentations, but you just did not know how it worked. Very confusing, yet I knew that people who succeeded in sales, they're good enough to be able to make a living in sales. That's where the bigger incomes were found. Later I found out that sales skills apply everywhere. So when I got started, I went into every bookstore. I got every tape, anything to do with sales. I just consumed it. I was in an organization with a lot of sales geniuses, and so I took my tape recorder around and I would ask them questions and then make outlines of their answers, and eventually got pretty comfortable with it. But here in this series, you're going to get 10 little bite-sized chunks, and most of these are around 10 minutes, more or less. It's a short course in sales. It's 30 or 40 years of sales experience crammed into just 10 short videos. I think you're going to be very excited with the information. So let's look at them. And the reason for this video is to get them all in one spot so you can make sure you haven't missed any of them. The first one we want to talk about is it takes 10 to make a sale. That might sound a little strange, but this is how pros get so many sales. It's also the way people get things done in life that they don't really know how to do themselves. You know, it's kind of, once you understand this concept, it sets you off for becoming good at delegating and things like this. Because many different sales skills are required in life, but how do pros figure out how to get that stuff done, and how are they so successful? How do the pros make so many sales? Once you get this concept down, it'll unlock the door to helping you achieve much more in life than you ever could do on your own, and not just in the sales arena. Another one, the second one we'll talk about, is 6 things I'd wish I'd known about sales. You know, when you get started in anything like this, especially, you're surrounded by successful people. You're always scared you're not good enough. You're excited, you're learning, but not having a lot of success to build your confidence. So when anything goes wrong, you immediately set off the vibrations in your mind. Am I got good enough? Am I wasting my time? And that's not healthy. That's not a positive. So over time, if you stick with it, you find out you're good enough. And these are 6 big things that would save me a lot of the frustration, confusion, sleepless, worried-filled nights I had getting started. And I think a lot of y'all have go through the same experience. And this will give you, once you know these things as facts and as true, it will give you the power to fight through your obstacles and doubt and get yourself where you want to go. And because there's always going to be a fight, always going to have to climb a mountain to be successful. And so you certainly don't need to have a lot of doubts in your mind as you fight your way to the top. Take a look at this one. I think you'll get excited. The third one is everybody's a salesman, whether you know it or not. And we talk about how sales skills give you survival skills for navigating through life, because very few places in life where we are allowed to badger and force people to do what we want to do, we want to get done. We have to get them to want to cooperate with us. And this shows you how to get a lot more done with a lot less static. You find ways of getting people to cooperate with you rather than resist you. And you learn how to communicate without creating conflict. You'll get into some insights about when to use logic, when to use appeal to the emotion. And knowing the basics here will give you incredible tools that you'll find yourself using in all areas of your life. Another one here is the eye-opener presentation. Number 4, this is 3 of the most important sales presentation styles briefly put down. Now what this does is multiplies, know these key effective ones that all the pros use. This now will multiply your options for success when you're prospecting with people. Options give you power. And then we go into 2 a series of 2 on sales prospecting. How do you find clients, customers, recruits? How should you go about prospecting? Which method? You'll find there's 2 primary choices, and one has a whole lot higher rate of return than the other. Depending on which one you take, you'll either succeed or fail. We find that most 99.9% of the people who are successful in sales take a certain approach. You want to make sure you're on the right track. And in the second part, we talk more about how to get a steady stream of new clients. You want to, like, how do you get off to a start, but then how do you keep on going? How do you get some repeat business? How do you find the next wave? It's wave, and you want to make waves and waves of income. How do you find waves and waves of prospects to generate that? And what's the best way? The best way will always be the way you find the right people in the shortest periods of time. That's what we talk about there. In our next one, number 7, we talk about the hardest person to sell. This is a little bit of an invisible thing that brings a lot of people down. And we've seen so many people over the years, people who otherwise would have been successful, yet they never got this person on board. And this is the person they've got the most influence with. And so this kind of points that out and shows you how to go about making that happen. In our 8th sales tape, we've got survival skills. And 6 survival skills, getting into things like why it's emotion and not logic that wins. Why questions are a key to sales success. And nobody's going to buy anything from you if they don't like you. They'll never like your product unless they like you. So what's the foolproof way of selling yourself? Got to know that. And here we go into setting appointments. Number 9, sales setting appointments. That is where it starts, but it can be daunting, scary. In fact, I've seen 300-pound ex-football players say, they've lifted weights their entire life, but somehow lifting that phone receiver off, putting it to their ear is just too much work. Somehow they didn't have the strength to do it. That fear doesn't need to intimidate you. It's not that complicated. In fact, when you do it right, it's very simple, very brief, to the point. So this will clear up all your mistaken ideas about this sales fundamental and give you a whole lot more power doing it successfully. And the last thing is, people always say, well, people are going to come up with objections. You need to have this worked out in your mind. How are you going to handle objections? Well, there's going to be 3 major sales objections. You need to know what they are and that they'll be coming. And that way you can get them more or less answered while you're making your presentation. And you basically pre-solve those things. You pre-answer that. You preemptive, making that a problem. You take that out of play by your presentation. And that lets people know that you understand how they think. And that causes you to build a better bond with them. But there's always going to be some unexpected last-minute objection nobody in the world could have predicted. And we give you the number 1 tool for handling that last-minute unexpected objection. And so you're going to be very happy to find out what that is and how to handle it. All right, that's it. Those are currently our complete list of videos in our Fast Start for Sales Success series. And a quick note, if you'd like to listen to any of these videos, what do is hover over them with your arrow and click it, and that'll take you to it. Let me know what you think of these things in the comments.